Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really fundamental question about the age of AI. And we're going to do it by looking at the personal journey of someone who has lived through the entire history of modern computing. So, let's start with this big idea right here. What if we've been thinking about AI's thinking all wrong? What if it's not about making choices or having desires, but something much, much simpler? A trigger, a condition is met, and an action happens. That's it. And, getting your head around this one little distinction might just change everything about how you see these powerful new tools. So, how did our source's expert get to such a stark conclusion? To really get it, we have to follow his journey. His name is Mathias, and his entire career has basically run in parallel with the evolution of computing itself. I mean, just look at this timeline. It really tells a story, doesn't it? Back in 1991, if you wanted a language dataset, you were manually copying it onto 11 floppy disks. Can you even imagine? And then just a year later, he was literally hacking together 20 different PCs just to get enough juice to do his work. This is the world that shaped his thinking, a world of physical limits and brute force. It's a completely different universe from the seamless AI we have in our pockets today. And to really put that struggle into perspective, check this out. The memory in just one modern AI chip is more than 17,000 times greater than the computer on an early spacecraft. So those physical computational walls Mathias was banging his head against, they haven't just been pushed back, they've been totally obliterated. So all of this long, winding journey through the history of computing, it led Mathias to a really crucial insight. He realized the most important difference isn't about processing power or how fast a machine is. It's about something much more fundamental. It's about what humans and machines are actually doing. Okay, here it is. This is the heart of the whole argument. The real difference between us and AI isn't about raw intelligence. It's the starting point. We humans, we act based on intention. We always have a why driving us. A machine, on the other hand, no matter how sophisticated it seems, it just operates when a condition is met. It gets a prompt, an input, a click, and it's triggered. It's following a procedure, but there is absolutely no why behind any of it. Think about it this way. When you're listening to me talk right now, you're not just processing the sound waves of the words. You're constantly, subconsciously, trying to figure out my intention. Why is he saying it like that? What's the real point he's trying to make? That whole process of reasoning, that's a uniquely human thing. It's really the bedrock of all our communication. Okay, so if a machine has no intention, if it can't ask itself, why? Then can it really create meaning? Or is it just creating a very, very convincing illusion of understanding? To dig into that question, our source brings up a classic philosophy puzzle that, honestly, has never been more relevant. It's called the Chinese room thought experiment, and it's just a perfect analogy for what today's large language models are doing. So imagine this. You've got a person locked in a room who doesn't speak a single word of Chinese. Questions written in Chinese characters get passed to them through a little slot. Now, inside the room, they have a massive, incredibly detailed rulebook in English. This book tells them exactly which Chinese characters to send back out in response to any characters they receive. So from the outside to someone who does speak Chinese, it looks like they're having a totally fluent conversation. But, and this is the whole point, the person inside never, ever understands a single word of Chinese. Not one. They just get really, really good at following the rules and matching symbols. They're producing perfect answers with zero comprehension. And this is exactly what Mathias is saying about modern AI. The system, the chatbot, it's not creating meaning. It's just a vastly more powerful, more complex version of that person in the room. When we read its output, we're the ones who do the heavy lifting. We supply the context, the understanding. We imbue the text with meaning. So this whole line of thinking, from intention to the Chinese room, leads us to this really powerful reframing of what AI actually is. It's an idea that borrows from the historian Yuval Noah Harari. So, forget artificial intelligence. Maybe we should start thinking of it as alien intelligence. And not alien like little green men in spaceships, but alien in the sense that its way of processing the world is fundamentally, alien to our own. This alien intelligence is unbelievably powerful, right? It can crunch data and find patterns way better and faster than we ever could. Its inner workings are basically a black box. A lot of the time, even the people who built it don't fully understand how it gets its answers. But it doesn't reason or feel or understand like we do. It's running on a completely different operating system. It's an incredible tool, for sure, but it is not like us, and it probably never will be. Okay, so why does all this matter? Why is it so important to make this distinction between intention and trigger, between human and alien intelligence? What does this actually mean for us, the people using it every day? Well, there are some really big human consequences here. First, getting a quick answer from a chatbot feels like learning, but it often creates an illusion. That knowledge doesn't stick in the same way. And maybe more dangerously, if we start treating these machines like they have intentions of their own, we risk giving away our own agency, our power to make our own reasoned decisions. The takeaway is that we have to stay in the driver's seat. We have to be the ones who question, who reflect, and who ultimately create the meaning from what the machine gives us. So, here we are. We're living alongside a powerful alien intelligence. The biggest question we face then isn't really about the technology itself. It's about us. How do we learn to work with this incredible new tool without accidentally giving away the very things, like intention and critical thought, that make us human in the first place?